you come up on Sunday interviewing you. And without hesitation, you obviously agreed to do it. I'll tell you first what inspired me to want to interview you. I was watching your interview on the news, and there was a part of me that felt, God, she seemed so uncomfortable. It's not the Tamara we know. Like when you were us, you were at home, so I know how you do. And I said, so God has given her this platform, and as a pastor from this church, I wanted to take the first opportunity as quick as I possibly could to get the opportunity to have this conversation with you before other people did. Amen. So I ran to that opportunity just to, first of all, to let you know that there will be so many other opportunities where people will want to talk to you about your story, and you kind of tell them how you arrived where you are. This whole crowning situation, Miss Louisiana wheelchair, unusual for many people. From my perspective, it just brings me to tears to know that somebody in your condition, your situation, would have the opportunity to be the queen of the wheelchair. When many people struggle to even pay a bill or deal with little small things in their life. So the first thing I'd like to ask you, Tamara, is your journey towards the wheelchair. How was your life prior to the incident that caused you to be in this wheelchair? Tell us a little bit about that.
Growing up in church.
I want them to hear you.
Growing up in church and coming from a big family, there was always love. Me and my mom kind of grew up together, so things weren't always easy, so I was combative. I questioned things a lot. So with dropping out of school, having a young daughter, it was a struggle, but I knew I had to work, I knew I had to provide, and that's what I did.
What do you mean dropping out of school? How old were you?
At 16.
So you were 16 years old?
Yes.
And what grade were you in?
11th grade.
So you were 16 years old, 11th grade. You get pregnant?
Yes.
As a teenager? And then you drop out of school?
Yes, to provide.
To provide?
Yes.
Because you needed, so are you saying that you had to work instead of going to school? Work was more critical because now you had a baby?
Yes.
Wow. And then what happened?
Just looking for love from a father figure, in a sense, or that security. I dealt with grown people, so I never say that with this accident, it was to hurt me, it was to help me. I'm more humble, I'm more appreciative, and I look for that love from God now, other than others.
Yeah. Wow. So take me back. Let's go back just a little bit, because I think you skipped over a lot of information. So you're 16 years old, you're pregnant. You obviously don't have that father figure in your life, and you think that part of what you were looking for in relationships with guys was that father figure. We don't have the time for me to ask you a lot of questions about that, but there's a lot of stuff in there that I think would really help people. So when you dropped out of high school, you went to work, you took a job.
Yes.
And did you continue staying at home with your mom and your support system?
I had my own apartment at 17.
So at 16 you get pregnant, you're in high school, you drop out,
Yes.
and then you leave your mother's house,
Yes.
and you get your own place?
Yes.
What happened? What motivated that? What?
I just knew that it was my responsibility, and not my mom, my grandmother, my family. I had to make the right decisions. As a child, I grew up watching my mama work, and so I knew that I had to work. I knew that she always told us, you have your own. You make preparations, you get up, whatever the day brings, you deal with it head on.
Wow. So at 17, you're an independent woman, you're living on your own, you have a daughter, you're a high school dropout. How do you feel in that moment? Like, how is that?
There is no feeling. You're just doing what you have to do. You don't take the time to sit and think about what you could be doing or what needs to be done is always on your mind.
Wow. So you're just kind of numb to the situation and just focused on making things happen for yourself and your daughter. Wow, amazing. And then tell us about the accident. What happened in that moment?
I don't remember the accident, but I was T-boned, and North Baton Rouge. Guy ran a stop sign. I vaguely remember some things while I was in the hospital. Mostly everything is in a picture of my daughter hanging from the IV pole where I'm running. So I was more mad that I had with my mama car. I was gonna get in trouble. That was one of the main things, but I don't remember it.
What about prior to the accident? You remember the events that led up to that moment? Like that day, like I woke up that morning, so you have no memory?
No.
Prior, how far does your memory go back?
I can remember vaguely the day before certain things, but really no clear. And I think that's how God wanted it to be. So that I wouldn't bring it with me in the new life.
What do you mean, the new life? That's an interesting phrase you use, the new life. What do you mean?
Well, I've always had a relationship with God, but with the accident happening, it made me seek Him more because I had to live life a different way. You wake up and you're not able to walk, you're not able to move, and people tell you that you're not going to walk again, so you have to create a new life.
Okay. Wow. Do you remember being in the hospital and waking up and hearing doctors come in and talk about your condition?
Yes.
What was going through your mind when you woke up and realized that your life was not the way it was just hours ago?
Trying to figure it out, first of all, where initially waking up, they would put me back to sleep. I guess due to the surgeries and things like that, so I would instantly get put back to sleep, but once they started leaving me alert, I would overhear things. Like my family didn't even tell me, like it was overhearing the doctor, so with hearing them, it's like, okay, what am I gonna do?
How are you feeling?
No fear.
No feeling. When did you start to feel?
When I found out I was pregnant with Jeremy rehab.
That was the second one.
Yes.
How old were you then?
19.
Tell us what happened.
Well, I got to rehab and I was sick. I wasn't able to get up out of bed and, do exercises to, learn how to live. So they sent me back to the hospital to have some tests ran. And I remember waking up that morning and the doctor was sitting in the chair just like you were. He said, I got some good news and some bad news. He said, which one you want first? I said, the rehab. He said, well, the good news is I found out what's wrong. He said, now, it could be bad for you if whatever decision you decide to make, but you're about 12 weeks pregnant. And at that point, the reality set in that you gotta figure this out.
Again?
Again.
What did you feel? You said that's when the feeling came. What did you feel?
That's when the emotions of the accident and everything just came in. It was like, you really gonna have to live like this.
That's very interesting. What I hear you saying to me is just phenomenal. Like the way God, it sounds like God secured you from your emotions for a long time. And then the pregnancy, the dropping out of high school, the accident, you're in the hospital, the doctor sits down, and then he's telling you your condition, tells you about the pregnancy, and then all of a sudden, all of the emotions, not only from how you feel about your son, but also the emotion you felt about the accident and everything. Tell us how that felt, because that seems like just a flood of stuff.
It was a flood. Of course, my mom always is inspirational. And she said, well, it's not gonna put no more on you than you can handle, But just the feeling of loneliness, the feeling of being sad. How can I now take care of 2 children? in this situation. So it took a while, a long time, to actually come to terms with it. But I remember being at Wellness Hospital. I had to stay there till I had Jeremy. And I remember one night, I used to sign myself out every day and call my mama to come get me. She was like, stop acting crazy. But, you know, one night I would always pray, you know, and God spoke. And he said, I haven't left you.
Did
But
you
it felt
feel
like
it?
I was alone.
Wow, so it felt like you were alone. So you actually would go in a conversation with God
Yes.
and ask him about his presence.
Yes.
Help us understand that. That is, I guess it's so complexing to Mary, because you're talking about a young lady that's dropped out of high school, pregnant with her first kid, leaves home, is in her own place at 17. How old were you when the accident occurred?
18.
So you're 18 years old. Most kids are just finishing high school and creating their life. And here you are, 18 years old, in a life-changing accident that alters your life, and you're pregnant with your second child. And your relationship with God is all intertwined in all of that. So it's not just the physical dropping out of pregnancies, it's also God's mending himself in your life, and then all of a sudden you're in a hospital and you're having conversation.
Yes.
Tell us what that's like.
Well, the best gift that my mom has ever gave me was God. So she always said that you may leave, but it'll never leave your heart.
Say that in your microphone to these mothers out there. That my mother, because this is like the 7th time she's mentioned her mom. Tell them, say that statement just one more time. My mom.
My mom said that I may stray away, but it'll never leave.
She said
It's in
that
the
to
heart.
you.
Yes.
She told you that prior to the pregnancies,
Yes.
prior to dropping out of high school,
Yes.
prior to you being in your apartment,
Yes.
prior to the accident.
Yes.
Your mother spoke a word into your spirit and said to you what?
It'll never leave, no matter how far you go.
That God will never leave you,
Never leave.
regardless how far you get away from him.
Yes.
Mothers, are y'all hearing what, fathers, are y'all hearing what she's saying? This is very interesting, because so many parents struggle when their children are going through certain things in their life, and particularly they have an accident, and many parents are asking themselves, like, why me? Why this or why that? But your mother was pretty solidly concrete
Yes.
in the fact that God is with you.
Yes.
And I'm sure this is probably the most loneliest moment in your life.
Yes. And even now, when it gets lonely, but I still have God. At the end of the day, if that's what I have left, that's all I need.
Well, this on the table, without God, Tamara, how would life be for you?
I don't know, and I don't want to imagine.
Right, I mean, I know we're in church, right? I know we're in church, but this whole perspective of God's relationship with you through all the things that you've been through is absolutely incredible. You make it sound very necessary.
It is necessary.
Well, did you ever question God about, honestly, I mean, did you ever question God about, like, did you ever ask the questions that many people ask, like, why me? Where are you?
Yes. Why not me?
Yeah, that's what we come to quickly. I'm trying to, you know what I love?
Well, with God, he sending his son endured some of the same things. So if he had to go through it, how am I exempt?
But I mean, your life has changed now. I mean, you're gonna be, they were coming in saying that you're not gonna be able to walk, and your life is completely turned over to Mary. At the age of 18, like most kids are going into college on scholarships, they're jumping and cheering and running and playing. Your life will never be what it could have been.
It's better though.
I'm trying so hard.
When you make peace and God gives
Amen.
you that reassurance that no matter what you go through, I'm there. I can't imagine.
How did you get there? That's what I'm trying to understand.
You have to have faith. You know, faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things unseen. I don't see God, but I know He's there. So if I don't try, I don't know whether it's something I can or cannot do.
The day you left the hospital, tell us what that was.
First of all, I was able to go home. I hadn't been home maybe a couple weeks out of that whole year. So just to be home, I always felt like if I got home, I would feel better. So, of course, being under my mom, and she's here about
Oh, she's here? Where's your mom? Where's mom at? Hey, mom. Mom, why don't you come over? They're gonna give you a chair. I want you to do this.
She looks like.
Just sit down, like, not straight, but I just have a cat on, so she can kind of see me. Yeah. There we go. There we go. There we go. Where's mom? Oh yeah, cool. You're not. No, we just kept hearing your name. I'm like, why did I get you up here, right? You were not prepared for this, right? Well, she mentioned your name and your relationship with her. As a matter of fact, she's mentioned your name. She understands God, knows God's relationship with God, but she mentioned your name more than she mentioned God so far in the interview. And if you think about it, it was like, I asked her, like, the first day coming out of the hospital, tell us what that looks like. Did they roll you out in a wheelchair that day, or? So you're rolling out of that hospital in a wheelchair. And the only thing you can think about is getting home to be held and to be with this woman.
She is a character.
Help us understand.
That's like the closest to God I can get. Yes, Lord.
What do you mean?
Once again, from a little child being introduced to God and having church and the memories of Bible class, you know. My mom taught Sunday school and Bible class. So just all the memories, and even with not having the best job or education, we did, you know, we made the best out of everything. And just knowing that where God brought her from, I want to be the same way.
Wow. How are you feeling?
First of all, I'd like to give honor to God. And I got the stubborn young lady in the back. It's not about me, because God gets the glory. Because this is a repeat cycle. I had this child when I was young. So therefore, I had to learn at an early age also. But I didn't choose to just take the easy route. I took the hard route as well, because I wasn't always obedient. But when God turned my life around, I was able to plant seeds in my children's lives.
Wow.
I was able to walk upright in front of everybody. That didn't mean I was perfect, but I did my best.
From your perspective, obviously your daughter's in the hospital for a very long time. Her life will never be the way it was. As a mother, tell us about how you struggled with any of it, if at all.
Like you said, I asked the question, why? But years before that, God has already put it in motion, whereas I was seeking it. So now his hand was in motion. But it is when they told me that, she'd been in an accident. First of all, let me go back to when she picked my car. She
This
actually
is the
borrowed
part
my car.
she ain't noticed.
She actually
Your
borrowed
mom.
my car, and I said, Tamara, you be back at a certain time. You know, children, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. So the young lady called me, she said, Miss Lee, she said, Tamara's been in an accident. I said, Tamara wrecked my car? Didn't know what condition she was in. I said, you wait till I get over. So when I got over there, my car was in the bushes, looked like it had never been driven in 6 months. The sunroof was popped out, the airbags, and all I could think of was, she wrecked my car. So when I get to the hospital, they said, you need to talk to a priest. I said, priest? Why I need to talk to a priest? Still not knowing that God's hand was in motion. Because when the priest came, he asked me what denomination she is. I'm like, oh, she's Baptist. He's like, well, we need to pray. I'm like, okay. I still want to see Tara and ask her why she wrecked my car. So when I got there, the doctor said, we need to rush her to surgery. My heart dropped. I'm like, surgery? She just had a wreck. And they said, well, she's saying she can't feel her legs, and we need to get into surgery. And I really felt numb right then. It's like time froze.
Oh.
I couldn't say anything. I didn't know who to call. And then I picked up the phone. I called my husband. I said, Cleveland, I said, Tamara's been in a wreck. He said, I'm on my way. So she stayed in surgery about 6 hours. And I'm walking the floor, and I'm like, Lord, I need you to help me. Now, before this, I was praying and asking God to help me with this child. So the Holy Spirit said, you gave it to me. Now you step back and watch me do what I have to do.
Give me a minute. It was interesting, Mom, to hear from your perspective, because it's almost like you can't tell your story without her, because you are so much a part of the story. This is what I got. This mother-daughter relationship is in trouble. And Mom is begging God for the safety and security of her child. And Tamara is tearing it down.
Ooh. Was she?
And in the process of her tearing it down, there was a seed that was so deeply planted in you. It's almost like a flower trying to break its way through concrete. And you had to go through an accident and be in a wheelchair to agree with God. There are so many parents in this congregation right now, and so many kids right now that are going through your life prior to your accident. When did both of you find peace in just agreeing with God on this whole situation?
I think when she pushed me outside that day and left me in the sun.
Wow. We like your mom.
Well,
What
I
happened?
didn't like to leave home. I didn't like to go outside. I didn't want to get out of bed. Things like that.
You were depressed.
So one day she
Yeah.
pushed
She
me
was,
in the chair and
she was depressed. Mom, you had to watch that. And one day she did what?
put me in the chair. She pushed me outside in the
What
middle of the
chair?
parking lot. In the wheelchair.
She put you in a wheelchair,
In the wheelchair, pushed me outside and she left me.
left you out there.
Left me outside. And outside out there, like a fool.
Wow.
Didn't move, didn't try to come back inside. I just sat there and I cried. And I remember her telling me, I don't know how you feel, but if you look around, nothing stopped because you got hurt. You show me one thing that stopped, I'll feel sorry for you. Jesus. You got a picture of it.
How did you do that, Mom?
Because I always told my kids, or my children, that when I leave this world, nobody's not gonna do what I do for you.
Yeah, thank you, too.
So therefore, you need to get your mind right while I'm here. Because there's no set time that I know that God is gonna call me. So if you feel sorry, if you think someone feels sorry for you because you're uneducated, you're a woman of color, a man of color, then you sadly mistaken. And after a while, the good-looking women and the good-looking men don't look so good. And the bills get to rolling in, you can't pay your bills. Nobody's not gonna do what I do for you. And I still instill that in my grandkids also. Nobody feels sorry for you. It starts with you. Well, how do you feel about yourself? So where you were born for? Get up, my daughter told me last week, Mom, you got the same 24 hours I got. So it's the choices that you make within that 24 hours. Make you the person that you're gonna be, or the person that you choose not to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Come on.
So you grab the wheelchair and roll your daughter out, and you leave her
I
outside.
leave her outside.
And for probably one of the first significant moments of your daughter's life, she hears you. That's what I hear you say.
Yes.
But you could have did that at 13. But how did you hear her then? What do you think was different about you in that moment, in that driveway or in the yard, in the sun, sitting in that wheelchair, and your mother says, I'm not gonna feel sorry for you because life hasn't stopped because you got injured. And I'm gonna leave you right here till you figure it out. Bam. You figured it out, crying.
And it was hot too.
And it was hot.
It was hot.
What did you figure out?
Just the realization that nothing stopped. Like, nobody felt that you got hurt. Who came for you? Who came and, made sure you were good, your children were good. I'm like,
That propelled you into the rest of your life.
yes. I signed up to get my GED, had it in 6 weeks.
In that moment.
In that moment.
So you graduated from high school in about 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Wow.
Exactly.
Tamara, what would you say to people that have had to face moments in their life? Obviously, all of us would wish that somebody would lay hands on you when you walk again, or pray for you. Doctors would come up with some type of surgery that would help, but it never happened. What would you say to people that are struggling or going through something in their life that they can't seem to really agree with God on? Okay, God, I get it. This is the way it's gonna be, and I'm gonna make the best out of what you've given me. What would you say to them?
It starts within yourself, and that's why I chose mental health, because I don't think a lot of people realize the baggage that they carry through adulthood, which is why I'm glad a lot of the memories that I had, I don't have them anymore, because I think I would bring them with me, I would carry them, instead of making the new memories, making, just life better each day, where it is, if I made this mistake yesterday, I'm not gonna bring it to, this new day, I'm gonna try something different. Keep doing the same thing, not getting different results, you gotta make some changes. You have to do a self-examination.
What do you mean?
Well, we can blame mom or daddy, the life that we had, people, but if you give them that power, then of course that's what you live by. But if you wake up with your own individual mindset and saying that, hey, I want to do this, or I feel like I can accomplish this, if you don't have that drive and motivation to do that, you can't blame anybody else for that.
Amazing. Mom, what would you say?
I parents, when you turn your kids over to God, allow Him to do what He has to do with them. See, we want to give God our kids and we want to take them back because we think this is too hard for her. Oh no, God, that doesn't seem like it's the right thing. But not when I gave him her, and he told me, he said, you sit back and you watch me. She didn't only get a new walk. This child started flying. When I say flying, she has no limitations. She's not afraid of anything. But if I had kept my hands on her and babied her, and we can't stop God because His will will be done, but we can hinder Him. We can slow His hands up and work it. She would not probably been in this state. She could have been, like she said, still in a loss for my meaning. What's my purpose? Where am I going? You know, blaming this person, blaming that person, and she would pass that on to her kids. But our kids duplicate what we do. Mm-hmm. So therefore, I encourage you parents. I know it seems like you want to choke them down. Let God do the choke. When He choke them, He's gonna send them back to you, and they're gonna say, "Mama, I thank you so much for what you've done." And we think that we are to blame, but once we give our kids back to God, there He is in the beginning. So what God holds in His hand, no devil hell can pluck out.
You got one more thing to say. Go ahead and tell us.
Oh,
You were saying, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got so. I thought I liked it. No, but I thank God for all of it. Like, I can't go back and say, I wish this would have never happened. It made my life and the choices, which I'm not perfect by all means. And I keep saying, when I get this thing right with God, it's already right. I just have to do my part. Because I need to be in Bible class on Tuesday. So that's the all right with. I need to, because here I'm taught. I'm not just preached at. You know, I'm actually, you teach and I'm learning. And from 5 years that I've been coming, man, like you make me like I'm just the best at it.
Wow.
And I can do anything.
Wow.
Anything I feel like I can do, I try to do it all I can.
Wow.
Woo.
Amen. Amen. We'll close this conversation out. I want to say to you, Mom, you got one more thing? Come on, Tamara.
No, I just want to go back to after 6 weeks of getting my GED. It was what was next. I got a trade in medical office. Car I had broke down on me so much to where it was like, it's not possible. But I finished that and I worked. I enjoyed life with my kids and traveling. And one thing that I can say, my stepdad, hands down, awesome dad. And I've had the best of both worlds. I had my dad and I had my stepdad. But with him leaving us, it still was a lesson. It wasn't just a loss, it was a lesson. That I still have some things I need to change and get right. So if there's anybody who doubts God, you gotta make it right. He makes things good when it doesn't seem good. You know, like right now, I said I was gonna talk about it. But with this new pageant, the people that I thought loved me, God showed me they didn't. And I'm fine with it. You know. So with making the changes in life, sometimes people just not have to go. Amen.
Not everybody was saying, and we give them really big hand, amen. Well, listen, I want to say thank you so much. We are more than honored, Samara, to have you part of this ministry, to be able to watch how God has moved in your life, and to you, Mom. I think, I had the opportunity to meet you one time, And I told your daughter, I said, I thought I was going there to be a help and support, and man, y'all were like preaching to me on some things that I was going through, and just an amazing woman. I think what I'm gonna do now is I just wanna open the doors of the church. I wanna open the altar, for the church. I'm just asking, Mary, I want you to stay up for a bit. You just stay up here right there. And I want you to think about these 360s. The Bible says, agree with God and be at peace. I think, Tamara, you're a prime example for us of what it means, like, to agree with God and find peace. If there's anybody in this church right now, and Tamara, I'm going to ask you to pray for us this morning. I would not want to go through what Tamara went through. There's a big part of me, Tamara, that would hope that I hear God before I ask Him. If you're in the congregation and you know your relationship with God is not where it needs to be, why don't you make your way to the altar?